Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in again to the Nurse Alley. This is our second video, and the background looks a little different because I'm actually in my daughter's room, borrowing her room for this video because until we get our equipment in, I'm really just working with what I have for the moment, and her room just so happens to have a little bit better lighting. So before we get into this video, we have had a snow week. Not a snow day, but literally a snow week from school and from clinical. From Monday till tomorrow being Friday, we have been out of school and will be out of school due to the inclement weather here in Michigan. And it has been ridiculous. I mean, it has been negative 47-degree wind chill, like snow up to like, and I'm not a fan of winter. So I said all that to say this: pray for us in Michigan, whoever watches this that's not in Michigan. If you are in Michigan, you understand the struggle. So today it's just going to be a very, very brief video in regards to the HESI or the entrance exam into the nursing program. So the HESI is what we take at my school. To my knowledge, there's a TEAS test and a Kaplan test at other schools that they take. I'm assuming that it's very similar. I actually haven't done all the research that I wanted to do on the other two tests to see exactly how similar they are exactly. But because I know that a few people that I know personally are planning to take the HESI very soon, I figured I'd just kind of put this out there, and then if there's any additional questions, feel free to leave them in the little comment box below, and we'll answer those and go from there. Okay, so again, I have my laptop here, so I might look to the side in regards to keeping up with the topic and trying to stay on task as much as possible. So for the HESI test, there are various subjects that we have to be tested on, and it's kind of like at a basic level. So if you being in college, it's like the basic college level, like the 09s or the 0 or 100 level type of subject is what they expect you to know. So typically the HESI involves vocabulary, general knowledge, reading comprehension, grammar, basic math skills. There's a critical thinking portion. There's chemistry, physics, biology. I don't know if I already said math. And then anatomy and physiology. My daughter's over here. You can't really see her, but she's telling me, yeah, you already said it. So sorry. So the difference is the HESI includes all of those, but certain schools only make you take so many of those. So for my school, we only had to do the reading comprehension, the grammar, critical thinking, and vocabulary portions of the exam. So because we have to have certain math classes anyway, to even apply for the program, I think those were sufficient enough to not have to retest on the math. And because we definitely have to take anatomy and physiology and get a certain grade in those classes, I'm pretty sure those are also sufficient too, as to why we didn't have to take those for the HESI test, because those last classes like anatomy and physiology, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who remembers, but they have a similar grading scale to the nursing program. So for our nursing program, an A was a 92 or is a 92% or better. So if you've gotten a 92% better or better in anatomy and physiology, or pretty darn close, then I think that's good enough. So yeah, so for studying, they really want you to prepare a month or two in advance. I would suggest the same, but to be honest, I didn't use the same time frame that I'm suggesting you guys. But only the reason why I say it is because I honestly was low-key overwhelmed with my classes that I was already taking. So I wasn't really trying to neglect those classes to study for the HESI test, because I just wasn't. Because those were the classes that I really needed. I mean, you need the HESI too, but hopefully I'm making sense. So the HESI is something that, even though it is basic level information that they want you to know, I definitely would not suggest taking this lightly because you have to pay for it out of your own pocket. I believe it was $50 and you get 2 chances. So you have to get a certain score, 78% or better. 75 minimum score. And then the critical thinking portion, it didn't count against you, but it definitely provided you with like extra points per se. Okay, so some of the websites that I use, because I am all for free. So the websites that I use, it was Momtrix, Mometrix. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but I would definitely include these all on the screen and in the description box below. I use the HESI A2practicetest.com and the uniontestprep.com. The things that I really liked about all 3 of these sites were the fact that they had like flashcards that you can do. They had little reading passages that you can read and then the questions to answer based on the reading passage. And then they would have like the practice test, and they would kind of give you an idea of how well you're doing. And with that, it was very helpful. I will say that the Mometrix.com, they actually had some questions that were actually on my HESI test. And I was like, oh, I remember this. And let me tell you how the HESI test will get you. Because you're like, oh my God, I'm good. I got this in anatomy. I got this in chemistry. I'm good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's going to pull out some of those things that you have not like had to use in forever. So I'm talking like basic grammar.
Like basic grammar.
Nouns, adverbs, predicates, what'd you say? Adjectives, like things that my 3rd grader knows and is fresh. She's high. I guess I am in her room though, so it is what it is what it is. So also there is like they'll give you like sentence structures and like things to pick out of the sentence and like reading passages, and it's really easy, but don't take it lightly. Don't BS it, because at the end of the day, you do want to get the best score that you possibly can. Yeah, granted, you can more than likely pass it 75 or better, or at least a 75 if you're not really trying. But you don't want to just skate by with these things. These are things that you want to take serious because these are part of your record. You're going to be able to see it, and then like, even though you feel like, yeah, I passed it, if there's like 88 seats in the nursing program like it is in our school, and say that there's like 87 people already chosen, and you and another person are like going head to head for this 88th spot, and you was like, yeah, I passed with like a 76 and a critical thinking score of 600. The person next to you or who you're competing against can have a 77 and a 900 critical thinking score. Guess who's going to get in? Not you. So definitely make sure that you do not take these things lightly. There's at our school and in our library, and you can check on Amazon for this book, or your local library or college library as well. It's the 500 Evolve Reach HESI A2 Questions to Know by Test Day. So there's 500 questions in this cute little book. It's not cute, but this little book, and it just gives you scenarios, and it gives you, like, it's really helpful. It's really helpful. And the great thing about the HESI, the TEAS, and the Kaplan is that the resources to do these exams are typically free. So take it. Now, there are some things to say, if you want to unlock more, you got to pay. I wouldn't worry about that because this is kind of entry level, basic level stuff. So, again, there is no minimum score required for the critical thinking portion, but as a nurse, you're going to be thinking critically at all times. Like that is going to become what you're all about. Everything is critical thinking. You have to be able to be a good critical thinker to be a nurse. So you want to already show that you're strong in this area. And again, even though it doesn't count against you, if you don't do as well in this area, this is something that you're going to want to practice and practice and practice to get better at later, because this is something you're going to do every single day in nursing school and in your career as a nurse, and so on and so forth. So for our application, we had our grades that we would list. This is for applying for the nursing program. We would have our grades that we would list for the certain core classes that were required. And then we would have, they would pretty much enter in our HESI score and our critical thinking score. And if you were also working or had some type of like patient care experience for your current job, then you would get extra points. So basically the critical thinking portion of the HESI just pretty much enhances your nursing application score pretty much. So the practice, again, just to kind of rewind a little bit, and this video is just an overview of the things that you can go check out in order, like, for resources to feel more confident with the HESI test. But just know that the practice tests are there to use, and you can do them over and over and over and over again. And I would jump from site to site so I'm not getting the same like questions over and over again. But that practice test pretty much just reveal any areas that you pretty much need extra focus, you know, extra studying and understanding. So if you know that, like, I'm struggling with something with reading comprehension or grammar, because we get so used to using short words and all that type in our personal jargon that we can kind of forget the basics of grammar. And I'll be honest, I might be one of those people from time to time. But once you realize that you're not as strong in the area, that's when you go look up other resources and just to help strengthen those areas. So that's why I suggest doing it a month or two in advance. And you don't have to do it every day for hours and hours and hours. I would just like literally just dedicate maybe 45 minutes to an hour a day, a few days a week, you know, or even if you don't have that much time, maybe once or twice a week, because these are things that once you start reviewing them, you're going to be like, I remember that. Oh, okay, I remember that too. But I did not use the 1 month to 2 month time frame. I started studying for my HESI at night, overnight at work, like a week and a half before I took the test. I wouldn't suggest anybody do that, but I did good. By the grace of God, at the end of the day, anything that I've done, anything that I've accomplished, it's all by the grace of God, because your girl sometimes be like, how? Like, how, Sway? Like, how did you pass this? Like, what? Where was your brain at? Because clearly you were not focused, and God got you through that. Okay? And not just with like lower, like just slide by scores. Like, God be helping your girl out, like getting me to the tippy top. So I thank him for that. But don't be like me. Pray about it for sure, but don't be like me and think you're just gonna be able to get by, because there's been times in my past that I've tried to skate by and was like, oh, I'll wait, I got this. And yeah, don't do that. So again, for my school, we only had to do critical thinking, reading comprehension, grammar, and vocabulary. If you have a school that makes you do the anatomy and physiology portions and the physics, I don't like physics, so I have people who I can connect people with. If you are a school that or at a school that has physics or part of that, I can reach out to people that I know who could be of help to you, because honestly, physics is not one of the things that I enjoy. So I'm not really going to be good at teaching physics or like helping you understand physics, because I struggle with that myself still for certain things. But if you have like anatomy and physiology, definitely check out the Anatomy and Physiology for Dummies book that I put in my previous video. Even though the video was basically like how to get an A in anatomy, that would help you with like reviewing certain topics that may or may not be a part of the HESI or the TEAS test. The math skills portion, I can't really speak to this very much, because again, I didn't have to take this portion, so I don't know what type of math it covers. I'm assuming algebra, like basic algebra, because so far I'm in the second semester of nursing school, and we haven't had to really use like, did we use algebra? I mean, we use math, but it's like, it's not hard. I guess it's like, no, I don't think it's algebra. Brush up on your algebra just in case, I don't know. But again, these resources, the Mama Tricks, HESI A2, PracticeTest.com, and UnionTestPrep.com give you all the information for all the sections. So I'm sorry that I can only help bring light to the sections that I took, but definitely if you are needing additional, like after you go through the practice test and you're feeling like, man, I'm still not really getting this, reach out to me, let me know. I'll be more than happy, more than willing to help maybe bring some clarity to certain topics or subjects. But when I tell you that you shouldn't be afraid to take this test, because it is definitely testing like your basic knowledge of these topics. And you're in college, you're applying for nursing school, you want to be a nurse practitioner or just a registered nurse and working in a very great specialty. I mean, whatever, like if these are your goals, you got it in the bag. But don't wait to the last minute to study for it, because you don't want to be caught up. And, you know, again, you get one more try to take it. So say for instance, for whatever reason that you took it, you know, and you didn't pass, you get one more try to do it. So definitely try to put your all in that first try, because it's $50 out of your pocket each time, and nobody has time to be spending $50 times 2. Okay. So, yeah. So let me know if this was at all helpful in any way, shape or form. Work with me here. Again, we are still trying our best to put out content for the Nurse Alley. I'm very, very excited. I've recently, just as a side note, connected with some fellow nursing students in other states who are also in the second semester but have had different experiences, whether or not they are at a different, they're at a university, they're doing their BSN, they are doing their ADN like me, or they've started it and, you know, had some issues and had to like reapply or be, you know, readmitted into the program. We have some really great ideas and things coming that we're going to be collabing on and bringing you guys really good content. So I'm really excited about that. I got to get better at organizing my videos, because sometimes I just feel like, man, I hope they understand what I'm trying to say, because I just feel like I'm like all over the place sometimes, because I'm like an organized freak, but then I have everything organized here, but then I'll start talking here and then I get off on a tangent. So, yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you want to get into this makeup or these faux locks that I did, a protective styling in the wintertime, let me know. We will definitely do like beauty videos too. It's not all about nursing. It's, you know, health and wellness, lifestyle, nursing, all of the above. So thank you again for tuning in, guys, to the Nurse Alley.